Y'all, we've got some serious breaking news coming out of Thompson Station this week, and it's got the entire town in an uproar. Simon Properties came out on January 29th, and they issued a press release. In the press release, it stated that they have entered into an agreement to acquire land here in Thompson Station so that they could build and develop a Simon Premium Outlet Mall. In the article, it states that construction on the approximately 325,000 square foot mixed-use center is expected to begin in 2026, with plans to include 75 best-in-class retailers, restaurants, a hotel, and the potential to add residential options, big box retailers, and more. So this article came out and it started spreading around Facebook like crazy. The property, I looked it up, it's located at 1733 Lewisburg Pike. You can see it right here. There's that little red dot. That location and this big chunk of land is right at the interstate exit off of Highway 840 onto Lewisburg Pike. Lewisburg Pike is also known as 431. And the problem with that is there is already some crazy traffic right here during rush hour. People are coming home and it is backed up all the way up the off-ramp up to 840, sometimes even on 840. And it's just like a pain in the butt. You've got people coming south from Franklin also, and it backs up. And in the morning, it's also a pain in the butt. And then on top of that, if you look over here to the right, you see those purple dots. That First Bank Amphitheater was built, I want to say like 5 years ago or something like that. And they have concerts there. And it's a beautiful venue. In fact, I'm really glad that they did it besides the traffic, because before that, it was this rock quarry where they just dumped all this trash and debris in, and it was just like nasty. And this company came in and cleaned it up and made this amphitheater. So see, there's a positive to it versus it just being a giant hole of trash. The negative is that amphitheater is also causing traffic on 431 and for local people that live on this back road right here, which I understand that's a total bummer to have all that traffic. So like I said, this is 1733 Lewisburg Pike. I looked up that property on the tax records and it looks like it was acquired in December of last year for $15 million. Can you imagine that? When you go down the line, it's crazy. The original people back in like 2001 bought it for like nothing. And I don't know if they refinanced it or something over the years. It looks like they did. They had it changed, the zoning changed over to commercial in 2008, which is kind of interesting. And then they cashed out and sold it for $15 million. I don't know if I can say I'd blame them. I think all of you would probably do the same thing. So that happened. And then the mayor, Brian Stover, of course, came on and he had to make a statement on Facebook, probably to try to like get ahead of this because he knew people were going to start going crazy. And he says, I want to share an update on the proposed development. He says the property's zoned for commercial use and the Simon Nashville Premium Outlets retail project is permitted under this zoning. Simon is currently in the due diligence phase to determine how much of the 100-acre parcel will be used. Any future plans would require rezoning and approval through the plan development process. It represents a significant investment in Thompson Station. And one of the things Brian says in here is he is pushing the developer to pay to fix Lewisburg Pike right there where 840 dumps off onto it. So to basically fix that interstate exit and to maybe put a light there, add some lanes, and hopefully help traffic flow better than it does now, and simultaneously get the outlet mall and get them to pay for it. And then another thing he states is that if we do move forward with the project, that it should provide enough tax revenue for the town to finally be able to fund its own police department, which right now the town uses the Williamson County Sheriff's Department for any type of policing. So, I mean, the positive with that is you finally got somebody that can, you know, work the streets here and stop speeders and be here quick to respond to any calls. So you could argue that it's going to be safer because we'd have a police department, but this isn't a guarantee. This is just something Brian's mentioning. So as you can imagine, Brian does this post and people start going crazy on there. The emotions, I'm like so surprised at the emotion that people have about this project. Like, I get it. I guess that's good. I'm glad you guys care enough, but I also know for a fact that most of those people never got involved with any of the meetings or planning sessions or anything like that over the past 10 years. So here they are complaining, but they never did anything or got involved or did anything to help. They still have a right to complain though. I get it. I don't get involved and help with any of that stuff. I'm not really complaining, but still, I'd like the right to be able to do that. So let me just read some of these comments. You guys will die. Okay, this is a terrible idea. Please fix and accommodate traffic issues before increasing businesses. Please think this through. This is an awful legacy to leave before you're voted out next year because of this insane decision making. Stand up against this and stop turning us into a trashy, crime-ridden highway rest stop. That's an over-exaggeration. I mean, it would be a Simon Premium Outlet Mall. Like, it's not gonna be a trashy rest stop. I'm sorry, that's a stretch in my opinion. I understand you just don't want that here because whatever reason, but like, it's not gonna be a trashy rest stop. I beg you, please don't. We live in Bridgemore, that's where I live. We don't want this to invade our small town or be like Lebanon outlets in 10 years, an eyesore. I see what Eric's saying. I know those Lebanon outlets look like crap now. I think a lot of that is because they just don't get the business like they probably thought they would. Lebanon probably doesn't have the economics there. We're here in Williamson County. There's like a lot higher net worth and incomes. So I do think these outlet malls would probably do better, but I'm just speculating. Let me move over here. Seriously, more of this? You created this traffic problem by building the amphitheater, and now you're trying to solve the problem by bringing more traffic in. Are you insane? Now you're trying to make us look like downtown Franklin, dense population, and now a mall. We don't live here because we don't want to live there. The sooner you're voted out, the better, okay? I mean, I will say, a lot of us, myself included, I originally moved to Thompson Station in 2013. I moved out in 2021 and came back earlier this year. A lot of us bought homes in neighborhoods that were once farmland. A lot of us contributed to this problem. Thompson Station was only a town of about 3,000 people in 2008. Fast forward to today and it's almost at 10,000 people. So it's grown considerably. On top of that, there are 2 or 3 neighborhoods that I can think of right now that have 400 plus lots that are getting ready to be built on. We're gonna be at 12,000 people in no time. So we're kind of all contributing to the problem. And as you bring more people, you have more problems. You have more people wanting more stuff. The town needs more revenue. The town needs a police department. The roads get congested. They need to be fixed somehow. The only way to do that is if the state will do it or if the town has the revenue. It's like it's not as simple as it looks. And you got to figure out ways to do all this stuff. So Brian came back and he was pretty good trying to answer everybody's questions, but people's emotions were just so high and people were so angry about it. I don't think he could keep up with it. He did say, and he said this a few times, the project is still in the early stages, and as I said in my statement, they will have to address all the infrastructure needs to mitigate any traffic concerns set forth in our mass thoroughfare plan and land development ordinance. So that's kind of our one thing here in Thompson Station that we can use to block projects. We've got this land development ordinance, and it's pretty tight and it's pretty strict. I haven't read through the whole thing, but the idea of it was to help preserve Thompson Station and keep it a beautiful place to live. There you have it. That's everything that's going on right now in Thompson Station. It is huge news in this little town, and I totally understand. I can't say if I'm for or against it right now. I'm very open-minded, and I'm always just genuinely like a optimistic person. So in my opinion, whatever happens will be fine and it'll all work out. I appreciate you guys watching. If you're moving here to Tennessee and you need a real estate agent, I do have all my contact information down in the description below. And also, I'll go ahead and leave like a description of what's happened so far and where things are at. And I'll leave a link to the article as well so you can read through that. I appreciate it, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.